Hey guys, it's me. I hope you love my sweet glasses. I just wanted to wear them today. You know what? I was gonna like get ready and like do my makeup and all that, like to film this, but then I was thinking, like I worked so hard like last week because it was like Memorial Day and I'm in retail, so it's like the week, like almost as big as Black Friday. Crazy week, a bunch of hours. And now this week I have like no hours, so I'm taking this weekend to like truly wind down, chill out, do a lot of the things that I've been wanting to do, like wedding planning and, you know, filming some videos for you guys. So, and sometimes doing my makeup does make me feel really good and like I'm ready for living, but you know what? Sometimes feeling good means you're just chilling in your softy shirt with no makeup and your glasses and you got some candles lit, and that's okay too. So I don't need to always look like a supermodel to live my life, and I want everyone else to know that too. So this video is kind of like a mental health update. I talked about in my depression story video. Oh my god, what is happening with my shirt? I talked about in my depression story video that I wanted to do a video on the medication that I'm taking. But I wanted to wait until I like was on it for 6 weeks just to like stabilize, and that time has flown by and here we are. So I've been reading this book called The Noonday Demon. I forget who the author is. I'll just put it down somewhere who the author is. I haven't finished it, but a lot of the parts gave me like inspiration for this video. Pretty much this video is going to be all about the stigmas of taking medication and things like that. And this book delves into that like perfectly about the stigmas of taking medication. So I'm just going to read a little bit. Sorry if I'm like looking down a lot over here sketchily. I'm just reading some of the notes that I took and whatever. So the guy says, taking the pills is costly, not only financially, but also physically. It is humiliating to be reliant on them. It is inconvenient to have to keep track of them and to stock up on prescriptions. Like, well, obviously this guy is not a woman or has ever had to take birth control in his life. Like, oh my god, but moving on. It is toxic to know that without these perpetual interventions, you are not yourself as you have understood yourself. I'm not sure why I feel that way. I wear contact lenses and without them I am virtually blind. I do not feel shamed by my lenses or by my need for them. The constant presence of medications is for me a reminder of frailty and imperfection. So this book does a really good job at describing like, oh my god, I'm so itchy, sorry, I have tons of bug bites right now. So this book does a really good job at describing like the debilitating nature that mental illness can have on you, but I really don't subscribe to this like view of medications, and I never have. I'm not sure why. I know tons of people have this fear, like they'll go to therapy but they'll be like, I don't want to take medication, and that's never been me. Like it got to a point where I was like, I need medication, like I need to be medicated. It got to that point because I was like, I'm not feeling better, talking about it isn't gonna help me, like I need some sort of like chemical intervention, like this is not okay. So that was how I always felt, and you know what, if I need to be on this medication for the rest of my life, I will. Like I don't have a problem with that. I'm just gonna clue you in on the symptoms of my depression that brought me in to see a doctor. Obviously I suffered with depressed moods, that's like the major thing. I was always easily tearful my entire life. I was easy to make cry. Listening to sad songs would always make me cry. Like on the radio I'd just be like, ah, like I was pretty much like a pregnant woman at all times. Like I'm just like, ah, like all the time. Like what is my issue? I had a lot of suicidal ideation in the past like few months, just like always thinking about death, thinking about dying, things like that. I had no motivation to do anything. I had a hard time reading or focusing on really anything. When people would talk to me and we'd have conversations, my mind would constantly be somewhere else. I would always just be like, the dishes need to be done, I'm such an idiot, like just like zoning out at all times of my life. Like I really had like no focus. So those are just a few of many. Those are the ones I could think of. So what I'm doing, I'm taking the lowest dose of venlafaxine, which is known as Effexor, and it's an SNRI, and it's used for like panic disorders and also depression. And I don't know, I didn't really question the doctor's prescription of this like at all, and I only did some vague research afterwards. But I guess like at the time of my appointment, it made sense for her to prescribe me something that dealt with anxiety, because the whole time I was just like, like fidgeting and like, I was a mess. I was a hot mess in that appointment, let me tell you. So don't be embarrassed, like if you go in for a doctor's appointment and you're a hot mess, because that's like the point, that's why you're there. Yeah, I could definitely say that this medication has drastically like lifted my mood and lowered the intensity of my anxiety. Like I still get it, but it's weird, it's hard to explain. Like when I would be anxious about something, it feels like a brick wall is like hit you, and like you just become like overwhelmed with this like heat. Like you're like, if ever I would get embarrassed, like it would just be like whoosh, like a whole body experience, which like just something dumb happened, like you know what I mean? Like if something small happened, like I fell down the stairs or like whatever, like at school, it would be like a full body experience. Like I was like, oh, like so embarrassed. I would think about it all day, like things like that. Now it's just kind of like like a little like you're going on a roller coaster and it's like but it's not like as bad as it used to be. I've noticed that my body reacts well to pretty much like any substance, and by well I kind of mean like easily. If I drink alcohol, I get drunk very quickly. I don't have to take a lot of aspirin to get relief from a headache. Like, so for this, the lowest dose works very well for me, and I don't really see any need to increase it right now. Like I may need to increase it in the future, but other people may need a higher dose. I'm just saying for me, the lowest dose does wonders for me. Let's just address some of the stigmas that are behind antidepressants. Some that I've heard myself since I've been on them, and you know, things that I maybe thought in the past. One thing that people will always tell you is it's not real happiness, like, and I don't think anyone really deserves to tell other people what real happiness is. Like everyone has a different experience in life and has experienced completely different life events. I think a lot of people are stuck in this mentality that to be happy you need to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and like earn it, which like cool for you. Like if you're like, oh, I worked my way over to the other side of the mountain and now I see rainbows and like I did it all on my own and I'm amazing. Like that's great, but like for me, I never got to the top of that mountain ever. Like my whole life was just trudging up this mountain, and this medicine helped me reach the top. And if that needs to happen for me, that's my version of happiness. Like, sorry. I don't know. People are just like so weird. They're like, you need to do it my way or it doesn't count. The second stigma about antidepressants is that it makes you a different person. And I know that a lot of people take these pills and they think, or they stop taking them because they think it makes them feel weird or it makes them feel different. And I experienced that within like the first couple weeks of taking my medication. And to be honest, I felt that way because I didn't know who I was without depression, if that makes sense. Depression was part of my personality for my entire memorable life. So when you begin taking something and you begin to feel motivated and have an elevated mood, it's kind of hard to come back from a place that's self-deprecating and pessimistic, and you kind of have to reformulate the way that you look at your life. It started to make me understand that the real me was being blocked by this part of myself that I couldn't control, and now that that part is subdued, I'm creative and I love life and I'm happy, and there's just like all these parts of my personality that I didn't really get to fully explore. Like I love to read and I love to cook and I love to plan, and I just have a lot of aspects of my personality that aren't being overshadowed by depression. And I think you need to just give it time. Like if you're on a medication and you feel like it's not working, or you feel like it is working and you don't know who you are, like just give it some time and you'll realize all the things that you were missing out on. Another stigma is that it's the easy way out. Though therapy is looked at as kind of like bougie and it's like looked down upon, people would prefer you go to therapy with zero medication at all, which I think is so ridiculous. Like sure, pay to go vent to somebody about your problems, but taking a pill, that's the easy way out. I don't think people really understand like getting the motivation to get out of bed and make this doctor's appointment and get there through all of the thoughts of like, you're not sick enough, you don't deserve to get this help. Like that is so much work. Like people don't understand that when you have this mental illness, everything is an effort. Like every little thing is an effort. And especially going to get help when the mean voice in your head is telling you you're not sick enough. I truly believe that the highest level of wellness can be achieved with therapy combined with medication. And if only therapy works for you, that's great. But for me, I definitely need both. Like I need this medication, and every single day that I'm on it, it proves it to me more and more. And I really hope I don't become one of those people who's like, I feel great, I'm gonna stop now, and then just have like complete relapse and be a hot mess. I'm telling you right now, I'm making this video, do not do that if you're rewatching this. So now I'm just gonna go through my experience primarily on the Effexor. So my doctor prescribed me the lowest dose, which is 35.7 milligrams, and I take it every night before bed because a big symptom of mine for being depressed was not being able to sleep. I had crazy insomnia for a few months. I would stay up till like 6 o'clock in the morning, wake up at like probably like noon or something, and then take naps throughout the day. Like I was just, the sleep schedule was not happening. First night I took my medication, I was actually at my friend's house, and I don't know if I was just overly tired or like what, but I took this pill and I was like really giggly, and we were just talking about like Donald Trump, and I just like started dying laughing, and I was like, why is he so stupid? Like literally I just like couldn't stop laughing. And I was just like, I'm gonna go to bed now, and I just went to sleep, and it kind of felt like little fireworks were like going off in my brain. Like I just felt really warm and cozy, and like I still had trouble falling asleep that night, but I just vividly remember that feeling in my brain. The last couple months have been a little bit of a blur of like the symptoms, just like, but in like a really good way. Like everything's been really positive and great, and I know some people react really negatively to medications like this, but I've had a really great experience, and I feel really lucky for that. I've been so much more motivated in like every aspect of my life. I make my bed literally every single day for the past, since I've been on this medication, and I've never done that before, ever. I would just leave my bed a hot mess every single day. I put things like back in their place, and I'm showering frequently and eating really healthy and exercising. Like the showering frequently though is an A+ for me. I've been having tons of self-care days. Like today's a self-care day, look at me, caring with these glasses, but you know, just like taking time to wind down and relax, read books, go on a bike ride, chill out. Like it's been so beneficial for my health, and I didn't even know self-care was like a thing. Like I just thought it was like stupid, like, and then I started, now I'm listening to all these podcasts and everyone's like self-care, self-care, self-care. Like it's super important. So make sure to make time for self-care, peoples. I've also been therapy journaling like a lot. Katie Morton has like little therapy topics at the end of a lot of her videos. On her website, she actually just has only therapy topics that someone picked out of all her videos. So that's like super easy if you don't want to like watch every single one, which I have. If you don't want to watch every single one and like wait for the therapy topic at the end, they have them all on her website. So I'll link that down below. But oh my god, I was doing it every single day in the beginning, and now I'm kind of just like doing it when I need to, like every couple days. But every time I write in this journal, it makes me feel so much better. It's almost like another therapy session, because when I go to therapy, I feel so good. Like after my therapy session, like I get a good cry in, I talk about the things that I need to, and then I just feel so like lifted like afterwards, and the therapy journaling does give me a similar feeling. Sorry that I'm like itching so much, literally I feel like people are gonna be like, you're on my crack or like whatever, but like I think I have like chigger bites on my legs or something. Like I went on a hike the other day and just didn't wear bug spray, and now I'm so itchy, so sorry that I'm just like, I'm gonna go through some of the bad side effects. I didn't have a ton, but I know this is what people want to hear, so if you're like, what is gonna happen to me on this pill, like I'll tell you, girl. So the first couple weeks I had tons of yawning, like so much yawning. Not even when I was like tired, I was just like and I'm like not a cute yawner, like. So I was yawning a ton. Just like general tiredness. Some days I would feel okay, and then other days I would be exhausted, like really tired. And this would come in a few days, like stretches. Like I would just be really tired at work, and I'd just be like zonked out. But like now my energy levels are pretty stable. I had a couple weird dreams, and now I'm still getting weird dreams now, but not so often. I had a dream the other night that a tiger was like attacking me, so that wasn't very fun. And I had a few just like very vivid weird dreams, because I think it affects your serotonin levels, which like will affect your dreams, so know that going in. I had a few spells of like nervousness, or just like feeling on edge with anxiety, just like for no reason. Like I would just be at work pulling clothes or whatever, and I'm just like, oh, like I feel like nervous. Like why am I so nervous? Like, do you know what I mean? Like I just had like crazy nervousness for no reason. So I had mild insomnia. I would like, but now like I pretty much am good, but I would go to sleep solidly at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and now I still do that, but I can stay asleep until like my alarm goes off at like 8 or 9. But I would wake up at like 6 and then have to go back to sleep until my alarm at 9. So that was pretty much my insomnia. It wasn't like so bad. I still do have like really persistent thirst. Like, hold on, now that I'm saying it, I'm like thirsty. I'm just thirsty all the time. Like we have water bottles at work and I down like 2 or 3 in a shift, like whole water bottles. So yeah, I'm really thirsty. They do say that this is a side effect, that your sight, like you get kind of like blurry vision, and I have experienced that. Like my sight kind of seems worse, but then again, I may just have to go to the eye doctor. So that's my experience with this medication. And like I said, this whole experience has been overwhelmingly positive, and I encourage anyone who is not feeling well to go and get the help that you need. I do not regret this decision at all, and the combined therapy has been a wonder, and I love my therapist. Like if anyone watched my other depression video where I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like my therapist because I had a bad experience with the therapist in the past. My therapist now is wonderful, and I love her, and I love going to see her. I only go every other week, but I guess if I needed to, I could go every week or even once a month. It's a really good thing to just boost me and talk about the things that I'm afraid to talk about to other people and things like that. So that is my depression update and all about the antidepressants that I'm on. So you guys have a great day, and I will see you next time.